إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له وما يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم وما يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Indeed, all praise and thanks is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him, we seek His help, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil that's within our souls and from the evil deeds. Whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one can misguide. And whomsoever He allows to go astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship other than Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His last and final messenger. Allah says in the Quran, O you who believe, be conscious of God, revere Him, stay away from what He prohibits, and go with what He commands, and die not except in a state of total submission unto Him. He tells humanity to fear Him who created him from a single person, created of like nature his mate, and from them both scattered countless men and women. Revere God through whom you demand your mutual rights in the wombs that bore you, for God ever watches over you. O you who believe, revere God and always say a word directed to the right, that He may make your conduct whole and sound, and forgive you your sins. He that obeys Allah and His Messenger has already attained the highest achievement. Amma ba'd. You know, our mind is a fertile ground for concepts and ideas. If someone tells us a lie and we believe it, it sticks to us, and then it starts to spread like a disease. What we perceive and believe are in fact mostly lies. The truth only exists when you connect back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you've ever seen a painting by Picasso, it's a very abstract type of art. So if Picasso was here and he drew a picture of any one of us, it would look very strange and kind of deformed and all over the place. The eyes and the mouth and, right? But to him, it would become, that's what you look like in his eyes. He is the painter, he's the artist, and in his painting, that's how we look like, right? And that's his subjectivity of depiction. Likewise, all humans create their own story with a unique point of view. Why do we try to impose our own story on other people when for them, your story is not true? See, everyone is a storyteller and everyone is a painter. And the result of believing in these lies is suffering. And the result of believing in the truth is happiness. So the first lie is believing that I am not XYZ. I'm not the way that I should be. Maybe when you were growing up, your mother or your father or someone around you said, you're not this. If you were a good boy, if you were a good girl, you would be like X, Y, and Z. Right? At the moment you start accepting that, the lie starts to spread inside of you. It goes from your mind and it infects your entire body like a cancer. Right? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made humans like honorable stature. Right? وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah tells us, He has honored the children of Adam. So you already come in the package with honor. But society, even the people who are closest to us, like our parents, like our siblings, like our neighbors and our uncles and our aunts and our advisors, can sometimes say things to us, and once we accept that is the truth, that's when the problem lies. Because you are the only one who can make that truth true. Because if that makes sense. Until you accept it, it's not the truth. Once you accept it, then you internalize it as the truth. Right? If you believe someone, for example, says you're a loser, maybe even you yourself are saying, I'm a loser. Until you believe that, it can't affect you. But once you accept that, then it will affect you. So we are programmed as a society to do good. XYZ people go to school, they work out, they get a good job, they have kids, you fill in the blank, right? And there's a silent current in the water that says you are not good enough. Meaning you didn't do XYZ, so you're not good enough. And you're not perfect, right? But perfection itself is a lie. There's no such thing as being perfect. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect. None of us are going to be perfect ever in our lives. So to seek perfection is actually an imperfection, right? You can seek excellence, ihsan, which is good, but to see I'm not perfect, that's going to cause more troubles inside of you. You can keep going on with this, right? You can say, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, my khutbah wasn't good enough, right? And then when you don't get the results, then how do you feel? You feel inadequate, right? There was a picture of the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady was on the Patriots, and excuse me, they lost the Super Bowl, and he's kind of like almost crying, hugging his wife and his kids and everything, right? Because he didn't win. He played a great game. He usually wins, right? But he didn't win, right? But you have to. But then the day after, he started to find out. He said, I started to realize that my inner peace has to come from inside of me. It doesn't come from all of these Super Bowl trophies and rings that I have. It has to come from within me for me to feel like I'm complete. Now, let's take it more closer to home. Now, if I was to ask you, don't respond to this khutbah, I'm supposed to listen and just listen to the person talking, but if I was to ask you, what profession do you think is the most highest one in America? Most of you would probably say it, maybe a businessman or a doctor or a hotshot Supreme Court judge, a president, something like this, right? Let's say doctor, for example. You could say, oh, well, I finally reached my calling. I've reached society's, vision of what I'm supposed to be, the Muslim excellence model. Okay, what kind of doctor are you? Well, I'm an internal medicine. Oh, I thought you were going to be a radiologist or a cardiologist. Oh, you are a cardiologist. Oh, I thought you were going to be a cardiovascular surgeon. Where'd you do your MD? Oh, okay, I thought you went to Harvard. Oh, you went to Harvard? I thought you did the MD and the PhD together. That's what I did. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't really win. Because in this dunya, there's always going to be one step higher than you. And if you judge yourself based upon the spectrum of the dunya, then you're going to always lose. But if your intention is pure, and your intention is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you can only win. Do you see what I'm saying? Because people set the system up in the world, and people are the ones who will ultimately fail. But Allah's system will never fail because He's the one who created everything in the first place. Right? When we're little children, everything is relaxed. You know, we go out, we play. I used to play in our driveway with the little roly-polies and the ground and, the grass. And my sister would come out and we would play. You take a nap, you eat a lot of McDonald's junk food, and you regret it later in life, but you eat it then and you love it, right, with the toys. But then people start talking to you, and then your programming gets distorted. So we lose a lot of that childhood happiness. Why are kids so happy? It's because they haven't been programmed with garbage to make them feel unhappy yet, right? I went on a vacation one time. I think it was I used to live in North Carolina, and then I went to South Carolina for the vacation. And there was this man, and he had this business where you would go on the boat into the water, and you'd see stuff. Like maybe you'll see a crocodile, maybe you'll see this bird, and you just kind of do that. And he had a little trailer on near the water where he lived. He and his wife, so happy. He was content and happy with his life. And then I've met medical doctors who have advanced degrees, depression, right? And sometimes depression is something you have to work on with mental health professionals in medicine. I'm not making light of it. But a lot of the times, it's because of the programming we've received in life and the story that we ourselves narrate. I myself spent years of my life trying to achieve societal recognition with the false pretense that it all comes from me, my hard work. What I have done will get me social recognition. It'll alleviate my insecurities. But the truth is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the reward and gives the rizq, the provision, to whomever He wills. And that's already set before you got before you came into the world. That was already set. A person can take care of their mother, not even go to high school, take care of their mother and father, and they're working at a labor-intensive job, and their rizq is halal. And they spend their life nurturing their aging and ultimately dying parents. This can get them into Jannah, right? This can get them into Jannah. But somebody who was spending their life cheating people, making all this money in this world, and neglecting their family and their parents, all of that castles, it won't get you in Jannah unless Allah wills, right? So thinking about what do we label ourselves as success, and what do we label ourselves as a loser? Now, the second part I want to mention today is that everyone in your life is a secondary character in your story. Okay? Everyone in your life is a secondary character in your story. And everybody else is a secondary character in my own story. Okay? You have to understand that. Nobody is going to be the primary character and the primary artist. You are the only one who can write and paint your own story. And the secondary people, tertiary and so forth, they can never affect you unless you let them say something, right? A colleague of mine, he got an email from, he works at the college, and he got an email from a professor who emailed the entire faculty, all professors on the campus. And maybe the people who work there as non-professors as well. And he emailed this person and said that this person is incompetent. This person cannot do their job. And the email hit the entire professors of the university and other staff people. Now, if you are this person who just got this email from this faculty member, how do you respond to this email? Right? What are you going to do about this email? Your instinct, your amygdala tells you, okay, let's see what I can write. Right back and hit him right back, right? But he's just a secondary character in your story. Until you accept what he said, that you are incompetent, it doesn't really matter. So the person replied to the professor and said, thank you for your concern. I look forward to talking to you about this in the future. Right? Because he didn't let that get to him. Our family members, even our own mothers and our fathers, will have ways they want us to be. They want us to fit into their image, right? And their image is fine, but it's not your image. The only people that you have to be responsible for is only one is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and following Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and obeying your parents when they tell you to do things that are good, right? But I want you to understand the nuance and the difference between letting what your family members tell you that it destructs you, and then what uplifts you. There's a difference between the two. I want to make sure that that's clear. Now, so whenever this does happen to you, if your family does that to you, then the best thing to do is to forgive them, change the conversation, enjoy their presence, and love them the way they are. Because you may not be able to necessarily change your parents, but if you start changing yourself, then your people around you, their stories will start to change. I'll say it one more time. If you start changing your own story and your own painting, the people close to you, even though you're a secondary character, their perception of you will start to change. But if you try to change other people, that's not going to work. That's not how it works. You change your own self, then from that, people will change around you. It's those internal lies that we have to think about. I want you to reflect on the first part of the khutbah and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لي ولكم يا فوز المستغفرين استغفر الله. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. The first, what was the first lie? Right? The first lie was with Shaitan. He came and he told Adam and Eve, you can be like angels. Just go to that tree and take some of that tree. That was the first lie. Starts to work on them, right? And they accepted it as the truth, and they took from the tree, and then ultimately Adam alayhi salam repented for that, and then our human race came to earth from Jannah, and inshallah we'll go there back again. But that was the first one, and from then on we have been a society of accepting these lies as truth. Well, we think about a lot of things. We say, what are people going to say, right? It's a very common thing in many of our cultures. What are people going to say? And the reason why we are so embodied in that, that we're swimming in that so much, is because we are a communal society. When you're a communal society, you worry about what people are going to say, because you're living in the community and you're individualistic and you're in your island by yourself. The stars and the moons, no one doesn't really matter what people say. But we live in a community. But you can't let that get to the point. There was, the more these lies that you take inside of you as the truth, the more you give them attention, the more vivid they're going to become in front of you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, for example, let's go back to the first example. If you say that people said I'm a loser, I think I'm a loser, then this loser lie is going to hit you in every part of your life. In your work, in your marriage, with your children, with your friends. You're going to keep thinking this lie again and again. The less attention you give it, the less it's going to bother you. The more attention you give it, the more it's going to bother you. Right? So don't believe yourself and don't believe anybody else. Only take it if you accept it as the truth. Even if you ask the sheikh or the mufti for a fatwa, for a religious ruling, the person tells you something, okay, but if you don't accept it in your heart, you probably shouldn't even follow it in the first place. Unless you believe this is the truth, you shouldn't follow it. Right? Very basic, you know. Someone could say, oh, you know, it's not correct, but they could say like, yeah, you can eat pork, it's fine, right? And then you're like, okay, well, Mufti Saab said it's okay, so I'm gonna get me a ham sandwich from McDonald's, right? But you know this is a little bit off in your heart, right? So you know it's not the truth, you know. So it's very important to think about all of these types of emotions. You know, the Prophet ﷺ taught us that the strong man is not the one who has, you know, strength. It's one who can control his temper and his emotions, right? So are you going to be like that? Because it's all about how you react to yourself, and then also to think about, you know, how you think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Again, at the end of the day, it's all about connecting to Allah. There's Hadith Qudsi, it says, I am the way my servant thinks I am. So we should always think positive of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should always try to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we are going through our difficult times, and have to work on changing the narrative and deleting the lies that we have inside of us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us a nation that is confident within ourselves, to give us an inner peace, for us to feel as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over us and taking care of us, to protect us from the tongue of people and the minds of people who wish to do us harm, protect our own selves from our own mind and our own tongue that could do harm to ourselves. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins, to enter us into the highest level of paradise, and to help all of the Muslims who are suffering around the world. Allahumma ahdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt. Allahumma azza al-Islam wal Muslimin. Allahumma azza al-Islam wal Muslimin. Allahumma aghfir lil Muslimin wal Muslimat. والمؤمنين والمؤمنات ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وسلام على المسلمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقيم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair to Chaplain Brother Adil Zeb. Inshallah, he'll be here tonight for the Qiyam program as well, so please join us here with Brother Malik Bedhom. And tomorrow night, we'll have Qiyam by Mind and Spirituality by Dr. Faisal Qazi and Dr. Taif as well, so please join us for both programs. We have a visitor, inshallah, Brother Sam Jamal running for Congress in the 39th district. We'll have a small meet and greet session in the multi-purpose hall, so please stop by, say hello to him. As you know, we have daily iftars here every night, including the weeknights, Friday and Saturday. We have some gaps still, so I request, inshallah, all of you to come up about $3,000 today to cover a Sunday. So I'd request maybe 30 brothers to come up with $100 each. So if I could kindly get a show of hands, please, to get $3,000 covered. So if I could I'll start with myself with a $100 donation, and then if I could have second, third, fourth, mashallah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, alhamdulillah, 13, 14. Sisters, anybody up there? Just knock on the window there. 15. Sisters, brothers, anybody else? Last call. 16, alhamdulillah. Anybody else? Last call. Okay, and if you don't want to raise your hands, alhamdulillah, Brother Asad is here in the back. He has a credit card. You could donate using that credit card as well. Important date, Interfaith Iftar is June 2nd. Please invite your non-Muslim friends. Membership renewal date is May 31st. Please renew your membership. Quran Academy will have a Quran competition on June 2nd. Deadline for registration is May 31st. Dua request for Sister Hina Aisha Kausar, daughter of Fazal Kausar, passed away last night. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on her, admit her to Jannah. The prayers will be at the Islamic Center of Fontana, Masjid Rahman, and the burial will be at Laverne Cemetery tomorrow after the whole prayers. Mashallah, Sister Yasmin Hayat Khan is back home from the hospital, and the family would like to thank all the community members for their dua. Mariam Chaudhry is a cancer patient, is requesting your dua as well, so please ask for a speedy recovery from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.